Hello all, this is JC3 from Is This Real? Do you want to start your own podcast? Then look no further than Buzzsprout.com. We here at Green Hour Media use Buzzsprout, and we love the team at Buzzsprout. They are all about helping you succeed. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform. Follow the link in our show notes to let Buzzsprout know that we sent you. It gets you a $20 paid Amazon gift card if you sign up with a paid plan and helps support our show. Join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout.com to get your message out to the world.
Live from the Keith Vincent Kiola Studios in Paterson, New Jersey, this is This Real? Tonight's episode, Is There Satanism in the Vatican? My name is Joe Kiola Jr. To my immediate left, we have Ryu West. We have from the Multimedia Mafia Show, we have Anthony Kiola. And to his immediate left, we have our host, as usual, every week, Joseph Kiola III. Take it away, Joe.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for that intro, Dad. So, on tonight's Season 2 finale. Yes, this is our finale episode for Season 2. Oh. Next week, we start our Season 3 and our complete overhaul of topics. Oh. Tonight, we talk about, is there exorcism, wow. Is there Satanism, there we go, that's the word, in the Catholic Church or the Vatican? And I'm going to leave that hanging for all of us to talk about tonight. So to start off, Dad, you want to talk about specific...
Yeah, I want to start this episode off with talking about when you talk about Satanism in the Vatican, from my point of view, the only really way you can get around it or to give an accurate description would be with, now for you out there, I don't know if you're familiar with Father Malachi Martin. He was a Jesuit priest. He was an exorcist. He had, he was a Vatican insider for about 3 to 4 popes, during the 60s. He was released from, his vow of poverty, I believe it was, from the church, and he was allowed to, become a secular teacher.
What does that mean?
In other words, he didn't have to obey the laws of being a priest anymore.
So he was like a free agent, like
right.
freelancing. And
yes, exactly. He wrote a few books. One particularly, "The Keys of This Blood." It was all about a ceremonial exorcism that went on supposedly in the Vatican. Allegedly. He wrote Windswept House, which is another great book, and he also wrote Hostage to the Devil. And if you're going to read any of them, Hostage to the Devil is really the one you want to read, because what that does is that he delves into exorcism, he delves into what's going on behind the scenes at the Catholic Church, what popes did what. Now, you know, he was killed, I believe, in 96. Well, I say he was killed. He died of an aneurysm, but he believes that while in his library, he was standing on a stool and something pushed him and he fell to his death. But he made that account that before he passed on, he said that somebody pushed him. Now, again, who knows? But I just want to bring him up first and foremost because I believe that he brought this subject to the
forefront.
Yeah, to the forefront, to the masses, to people that would care. Now, you know, a lot of people don't care. A lot of people feel the Catholic Church can't have exorcism, can't have Satanism. Well, he really blew the whistle on satanic nuns, satanic priests, a lot of stuff that was going on, black masses, black rituals that were being held in the Vatican.
Now, does he have proof for all of this? Well, did he have proof for all of this?
Well, when you say proof, there's really not much proof you're going to have other than when you're a Vatican insider and you know what's going on, you know.
You would just trust it.
Right. Who is being trusted, who's not. It's kind of like the Vatican Bank. The Vatican Bank reports to the Pope, but they're actually... these people know where all the bodies are buried, and they know what they can do and what they can't do. Now,
so you're telling me there's no like pictures or anything like that?
No, not to my knowledge, there isn't. But he does interview people that he knows. He does talk to different sources and stuff like that along the way. However, you know, if you're asking for tangible proof where somebody come up and said, "No, I've performed an exorcism," you know, or I performed a black ritual in the Vatican. No, he didn't have that. But he did name some names, you know, and this is the guy that needed to be taken very, very seriously. And you got to ask yourself, why was he killed? Why did he die in the manner in which he did? And again, he was also an exorcist. So he knew exactly what rituals to perform. And he knew, I'll give you an example. He once was asked, and Art Bell has a great interview, a 2.5 to 3 hour interview. Yeah, rest in peace. And, you know, he had a great interview with him, and he really laid it on the line as far as what was going on in the Catholic Church. There was one episode, I believe, that Malachi Martin was there was supposedly a black mass ritual in the Carolinas, somewhere in the Carolinas, and at the same time it was being done at the Vatican, and they had crossed over. I believe that was in the Keys of This Blood. I'm not sure. I've read it in a while, but I believe that's one of the stories that he had. And he went on and on and on and on, and there was one exorcism that he was involved with, a little girl in Connecticut. And this is actually in Hostage to the Devil. It's a video. If you get a chance to see it, it's on Netflix and stuff. Now, I don't want to hog up all the airtime here, but this is he actually they were doing this exorcism for 4 or 5 days, and when it was all said and done, the little girl was sitting in the back seat of the car. They thought that they got it done. She was cured or whatever. Father Malachi Martin turned around and he walked over to the car, and the little girl rolled down the window, and she was 4 years old. She looked at him, smiled, and winked at him. And,
that's fucking terrifying. Yeah,
and then she peered at him, and he knew right then and there that exorcism did not work. So that's one of the stories. I mean, there's a million of them out there if you really care to research this and go out there and look for it. But this is one of them that really sends a chill down your backbone because, again, here's a guy that wasn't afraid, and he faced it head on. And I do believe that because of this, that's what cost him his life. So, I mean, that's my angle coming out of it, you know.
Well, it's funny because when we talk about we've talked about this subject before.
Right.
And we've talked about, like, in our Secrets of the Vatican episode, we touched a little bit on, Malachi Martin.
All
and
intended.
we also touched about, like, I'm reading this article right now about Gabriel Amorth.
Right.
And we
Vatican exorcist.
Yeah, he was the chief exorcist for a quarter of a century. And he turned around and said that the devil resides in the Vatican. You could see the consequences. And apparently, there was a link for that. Amorth said he described that cardinals who do not believe in Jesus and bishops who are linked to the demon, to a demon. And then the Pennsylvania grand jury report relates one instance of ritualized satanic abuse of a young boy by 4 priests.
God damn.
Yeah. He goes, there is some ambiguity, there we go, regarding the precious nature of the incident, owing to a page-long redaction in the report. Another priest rinsed out the mouth of a 9-year-old boy he had sodomized with holy water. Yet another priest sodomized yet another boy with a 7-inch long crucifix.
Jesus Christ!
That's when you do anything with a crucifix, it's pointing to satanic ritualized.
Yeah. I
activity.
mean,
Not only that, but coming from people supposedly that are preaching God's word, it's really hypocritical from.
Oh, it absolutely is.
From anybody's point of view. And then the sad part about it is that, like, it's all going down. It's all happening behind these closed walls where nobody besides these people know what's going on, and they're just going to keep it close to themselves.
Well, like we talked about in our abuse allegations episode.
Allegations, it's no secret, bro.
Yeah.
Like that thing, it's proven.
See, this is kind of like linked to our other episodes. We talked about the Vatican, stuff like that. This is like a third chapter of it.
Sure.
Because it's all linked. Abuse of children is all linked to. Some of it is satanic, ritualized activity. Like we don't have no proof of it.
think Aleister Crowley is behind this?
I don't know about that.
Wasn't he the guy with the?
Yeah, Aleister Crowley. He was basically, in the early 1900s. I think he was born 1860 something. He died in 1835, I believe it was. No, I don't think he had anything to do with the thing. I'm going to read you a little passage here from Father Malachi Martin that he wrote in 1990, and this kind of sums it up. About his involvement with the Pope. At this point, being Pope John Paul II. Okay. Most frighteningly for Pope John Paul II, he had come up against the irremovable presence of a malign strength in his own Vatican and in certain bishops' chanceries. It was knowledgeable churchmen called the Superforce. Rumors always difficult to verify tied its installation to the beginning of Pope Paul VI's reign in 1963. Indeed, Paul had alluded somberly, and you guys have heard me say this before, the smoke of Satan has entered the sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
An oblique reference to an enthronement ceremony by Satanists in the Vatican. That would be when I say that was what I was just telling you about, the one in the Carolinas, along with the one in the Vatican. They corresponded. Okay. Besides the incidence of satanic pedophilia, rites and practices was already documented among certain bishops and priests, as widely dispersed as Turin in Italy and South Carolina. There we go. In the United States. The cultic acts of satanic pedophilia are considered by professionals to be the culmination of the fallen archangel's rites. That was written in his book, The Keys of This Blood. And it's a
Move your mouth
geopolitical
closer
book.
to the mic,
It's a
please.
geopolitical
Thank
book.
you.
And basically, that kind of sums up everything that we're talking about now. When the Pope both know, that Satanism is in the Vatican, well, that's got to speak volumes. Because this guy's the head of the church. He's not going to make a stupid statement like that without it being true. And knowing Father Malachi Martin as I do, and how he had such inside knowledge with Pope John Paul II and Pope Paul VI, he knew these people intimately. So he knew what they were coming at. He knew what was going on. So if you're looking for proof, that to me would be as much proof as you need. When the Pope says it,
you're not gonna see freaking paperwork. Like
right.
Yeah, this is what happened today. Blah blah blah. It's not.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Or ask a question to anybody who can answer this, because I'm a little bit confused on something, right? You have, we've been saying black mass or satanic mass, or that idea has been thrown around, since we started the podcast tonight. But doing the little research that I've done and things that I know, Satanism, the Anton LaVey founded Satanism,
right,
is not so much, it mocks the Catholic faith and the mass and everything, but it's more about worshiping yourself as an entity versus deity, like God or devil. What's the difference between the Anton LaVey Satanism and the Satanism that was happening allegedly in the Catholic Church?
All right, anybody want to take that? Because I could take it. I mean, I don't want to. Again, I'm very, very up to speed on this stuff.
Well, I mean, what my take? I didn't research that, but my take for that is that
I didn't even know that there was a difference. Well, I thought that Satanism was just worshiping the fucking devil.
No, it's not.
There's a big difference. All right, here's how this works. Anton LaVey was a circus performer before he became this thing. Some people say this was an act. I don't know. I never met the man. I don't know. He's dead now. I have no clue. What he did was he watched as people would be, they'd work all day, then they would go to these places at night and they would cheat on their spouses. And he wondered why they were doing that. And then they'd go to church the next day. So they were practicing to be church-going people, but then they would do this stuff. So he decided to, start the Church of Satan. Now, you can look at it any way you want. The Church of Satan has nothing to do with the Vatican per se. It's his own take on things, and he decided when he wrote the Black Bible there, he decided this was the way it was going to be for his version of Satanism. Across the bay in San Francisco, you had another form of Satanism from the temp. He had the Church of Satan. Then you had Michael, I can't remember his last name right now, Michael Aquino, he started what they call the Temple of Set, S-E-T.
Mm-hmm.
That was also another version, and they really didn't get along too well because I guess they were battling it out who was the most really. And they'd always tell you.
I love the devil more. No, I love myself
more.
more.
They would tell you that we weren't actually practicing, going and practicing worshiping Satan. They were worshiping themselves. But somehow Satan got involved or whatever. You can.
You know when the whole Charles Manson thing comes into?
No, Charles Manson. That's
Helter Skelter.
Yeah, that's Sweet Sweet.
Okay, that right there in itself has nothing to do with the church. These people that are involved in the Satanism, satanic rituals that are involved in the Vatican, are as hardcore as it's going to get. Mm-hmm. They want to blacken the church, and they figure there's no way of doing it better. If we're gonna, hate God, well, we're gonna go to his house.
Well, it's very funny though, because it all ties into what you see going on in the world. Basically, it's very. I'm trying to find the right word.
Hypocritical.
It's not hypocritical. It's
a reflection.
Yeah, it's a reflection of what because if you think of what happens, especially in the world with people, you want people to think that you want to think people are good people, right? You want to sit there and be like, all right, people are good-hearted in nature,
right?
And that's what you want to think that the Catholic Church is,
right?
Yeah. Or the people inside the Vatican.
Yeah, well, yeah, the naive fairy tale version of
it. Yeah, and it's not that way.
Not making fun of anybody for it.
No, I know that, but it's not that way though. There's not. It's not everybody. It's a certain few and a certain select few, but it reflects on how we perceive society, because there's a lot of shit happening in the world as we see now, that if you go by your faith.
Yeah, if you want to go by Book of Revelations, that everything is going down exactly like how the book is talking
as far
about.
as the Satanism in the Catholic Church and what's going on there, it's what's happening in real life too. Not real life. I mean, what's happening in society. When you look at society, people mock religion.
I will agree. I will agree. With that.
I agree, and I disagree. And here's why I say I disagree. Right? If you're someone who is, it's no secret, a lot of the higher educated people, scientists, doctors, people who have who have gone to, like I said, university, they tend to be either less believing or they're atheistic, right? And then you have people who openly mock any sort of religion because that's just what they do. They don't believe in anything. I do believe, though, because of the way religion as a whole is structured, it is very powerful and is very mind-consuming. And there are billions of people on this planet who blindly follow and don't ever ask questions. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's their faith and that's what they believe in.
Sounds like every CNN viewer. But anyway, go ahead.
That's enough out of you. My point is that, yes, there is many people who mock religion or who mock the Catholic Church specifically. But when you have the numbers that the Catholic Church is putting up in the billions, it doesn't matter what the non-believers are saying, because the mass is backing up the faith.
The problem I have, though, is when you talk about all this shit inside the Catholic Church, and talk about
the religion itself.
Yeah, it's very tainting of the religion, and
it pushes not to cut you off, but it also just pushes. You talked about it, I think, a few episodes ago.
Yeah, the abuse allegations.
It just pushes people away from it.
But
and then it just I guess more people will go into whatever homeboy's name was, idea version of Satanism, where you start worshiping yourself.
LeVay, yeah.
And then it just that it could correlate.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There's a connection with everything we've talked about with the Catholic Church, like the abuse allegations, the secrets of what's happening in there, and all of these satanic rituals that you hear about. Granted, you don't catch anybody in the act, but you get the aftermath of it. You catch the upside down crosses within some churches. You get these
churches being attacked.
Yeah. You get the rumor mill from high-end priests who are like, yeah, I saw that shit.
Yeah.
We'll be back after a quick break. Hey, Ryan. Hi, this is Sarah Palin.
Ryan, Donald Trump Jr.
Hogs to win, seal. Hey, everybody, I want y'all to check out a fellow Marines podcast.
My name is Ted Nugent, and I got a call from my buddy Ryan F. Samuels, and he wants me to tell you that he's a working hard, playing all-American son of a who is celebrating God, family, country.
Welcome to the Ryan Samuels Show, one of the top political podcasts in the United States, where we have a healthy distrust for government and mainstream media. The Ryan Samuels Show is a raw, unfiltered look at American politics.
And it puts doubt into people when, like, if you want to sit there and become, like I was talking about in the last episode, if you want to become a future person of that religion, why would you want to do that? If you're sitting here, it's like, if the people, the head of the religion, sit there and allow this type of stuff, why would you want to be a part of that religion?
That's true, but I asked the bigger question on that. On top of that, you know, every conspiracy theory, or anytime someone was executed or something happened, you sit there and you can ask yourself, why would they do that, or how come? You know, what are they feeling? What are they thinking? But ultimately, the biggest question is, you got to follow the money. Where's the money going, and who's benefiting from these things? Now, you can talk all the government conspiracies you want that are out there and how the money leads back to whatever. But when it comes to the Catholic faith, who's benefiting from putting a black mass in the Vatican? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's the benefit of doing that at all? There's no money there.
Well, I think what you're confusing, Anthony, is the fact that you think that this is being sanctioned by the church.
No, I don't. I know it's not sanctioned by the church.
This is a group of people. This is not. Now you can go the other way. I'm looking at it thinking, I knew this before. Pope John Paul used to sit in a giant chair, and what it looks like, if you look at it, it's an inverted cross on the top. Now it looks like an inverted cross. Am I right, Eric?
Which John Paul are you talking about? The first
John
one?
Paul II.
Okay.
I am seeing the image on my right. How about
of an inverted cross?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's take a break.
Yeah, let's. We'll get back to what you're saying, Dad, right after we take this short little break. All right.
Okay.
Are you looking for a vinyl LP or cassette tape? 45 RPM? If so, you've come to the right place. Golden Spins. We have thousands of titles in stock and ready to ship. Call us at 862-336-2275 or go to our store at discogs.com/seller/goldenspins/profile. We can find whatever you may need. We proudly accept PayPal and every major credit card. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for listening to our little break there. Dad, you were talking about Pope John Paul's inverted cross on his chair?
Yeah,
Yes.
a lot of people would look at that, and I got to be honest, when I first saw it, I'm like, wow, that's, who designed that chair? They don't have a brain in their head, because that looks like an inverted cross.
And then I guess their defense would be, but Saint Peter was hung from a upside down cross, so we're honoring Saint Peter.
That could very well be. And now you got other stuff that's satanic imagery. I know we've all seen the picture of Satan as a man with a goat's head standing there with his going like this, and on his belt buckle supposedly is a two snakes crisscrossed with a ball on top. Now, if you look at that, Pope Francis also has the exact same thing and a staff.
I think that's a symbol of fertility.
Right. So now this is
from pagan gods and shit.
Okay, this is a point that, like, when people see this, they're going to go right ahead, like, they go, wow, the church must be involved in some hardcore devil worship, or they're covering it up so much. I think what happens is inside the Catholic Church, this is widespread to a point, because, like I said before, and I totally agree, I totally believe this, that because of this, it leads right back to, and again, Father Malachi Martin was a big proponent of reading the Third Secret of Fatima, even though no one has done it yet. Now, the Third Secret of Fatima, some would say that has to do with sexual predators in the Catholic Church, Satanism, pedophilia in the Catholic Church. Now, no one's read it. I mean, the couple of popes have read it, but no one's read it publicly. So I don't know, until they get that thing and release it, you got to start to wonder what is in there. And is it the reason why the Catholic Church is having the problems it's having, because the third secret of Fatima is actually true. Is it true that there was dealing with pedophilia, and that's what we have now? Where they was Our Lady of Fatima, was she warning us? This is what's going on. This is what's going to happen. So why would you not read that? Why would you not get it out to your parishioners? And again, it comes back to where, like, people aren't going to believe it. People will not believe it. Now, I believe that the pedophilia, the money that's being spent on that, is bringing the church to its knees. It literally is. And when you bring the Catholic Church to its knees in increments, as they're doing, they're closing down the schools. Where are you going to get the next generation of Christians or Catholic, holy people that are going to go to the church? Where are they going to come from? You're not educating them as far as Catholics are concerned. You can't rely just on every Sunday, a few people going to catechism. It's not going to work that way. And that's my opinion. Do I have any proof on that? No, but I can tell you one thing. If you follow Malachi Martin's teachings and you realize what is going on in the church, it's just right there. It's literally right there in front of you.
It's all in our face, and they're just kind of like making fun of it.
And people don't want to believe that. They don't want to believe what the hell's going on. They don't want to believe it because it's too deep for them to believe that.
I do have a story here that I would like to read, and it's not about... I mean, if you could take it in a way, it's about
It's right there.
What?
Oh no, another image.
Oh, there was a 6-year-old Sister of the Cross. She was stabbed in 2000 by 3 teenage girls in Chiavenna, Italy. Her name was Sister Maria Laura Minetti. She was a religious sister, and she was killed apparently in a, I guess, satanic way. Was for a game. They said the game, they killed her for a game. The 3 girls made Minetti kneel and shouted abuses at her. One girl beat the sister with a brick, and another pushed in her head repeatedly into a wall. They took turns stabbing Minetti 19 times with a kitchen knife. They had, according to Italian media reports, intended to stab her 18 times, 6 times each, to form by their violence the number 666. So these are 3 girls that were being taught by this Vatican nun, and I'm not saying that she was, a part of the Vatican, but it's so many things out there that there's so many like ritualistic, satanic shit going on. That's really like, it's disturbing to think about.
I mean, and then think about it. Not to cut you off, Tony.
Yep.
Think about it. How it's going on in today's age. How not knocking Eastern philosophy, but like how it's sort of coming back into our lives and just pushing the whole enforcing the idea of just there's more than one thing out there. So.
Well, yeah.
It also causes the whole disbelief in faiths, religion.
Well, like if you're talking about just straight like media and what's happening in the media, I mean, look at what happened with the Lil Nas thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard that he had like some devil shoes or something like that.
No, in his music video, he had a lot of satanic imagery.
And he gave Satan a lap dance.
Satan a lap dance, and the reason he said that is because he turned around and said that people get down on him for being a homosexual, and that he's always going to be like, they're always saying that he's going to hell. So he decided that, hey, I'm going to do this music video like this. My problem with I don't care if anybody's a homosexual. That is your right. That is your sexual preference. I don't care that you're homosexual. My problem is and it goes with any type of musician, artist who does this. Don't use satanic imagery in a playful way, because you can hurt yourself with that.
Well, it depends.
Not only that, but you're also influencing children too.
Exactly.
There's that. There's absolutely that as well. But there is that argument of like, if there needs to be parental, and I'm sure this is what, at least in his music video, and a lot of the stuff that invokes the images of Satan, satanic images, is the idea of like, if you don't want your kids to see that stuff, you need to monitor what they're watching, and be a parent and that it's part of that's part of your job as a parent is to raise your kids and to make sure that what they're watching is something you approve of. So that's one argument. But the other thing is that's
just gonna make a kid grow up to resent their parents more.
Sure, but it depends on how you raise them. But that's a completely different podcast and idea. But
True.
But then you also take I agree with you, Joey, because there are certain things that you don't fuck with. You don't fuck with the images or the likeness or the even the stuff that I enjoy. Like, take the show Supernatural, right? It's about a pair of brothers who go demon hunting, and hell is a very real place and all this stuff. And they speak Latin to exorcise demons. Now, I have no idea what they're saying when they speak the Latin, and I'm sure it's something, that's not terrible or
you would hope.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, that's something that obviously is like, if a kid wants to know more about a prayer said in Latin about exorcism, you're invoking the image of Satan and stuff right there in a pop culture show. They did the same thing with the Sabrina's, the show on Netflix, The New Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, where the Church of Satan sued that show because they were using the it wasn't the statue of Baphomet, but it was something very, very close. And Church of Satan actually sued them for copyright infringing. But you watch this show on Netflix, and if you're we're kid,
not sponsored, by the way.
No, of course not. But you're watching the show and you go, oh, I want to know more about that. Well, it's going to lead them to a place. You know what I mean? And I don't mess with that shit. I'll
know better.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll enjoy it. But as soon as the show's over, I'm kind of like, I'm done with this.
Not even that. Honestly, my ass is so paranoid sometimes that even when they start speaking in Latin and they just start invoking stuff, I really sit there and think to myself, I really hope that they not summoning something and something gonna start fucking with me, bro.
Well,
because on some real shit, I am not with it. I'm not with it.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. It's I'm not. Nope. That's something I don't want it. Even when I'm on my adult websites, if I see a photo set of a girl. No, hold on. No, I'm being serious though. I've seen a girl dressed as a nun. As soon as she I'll click to the first couple pictures. As soon as she breaks out the crucifix, I'm like, nope, I don't want to see where that's going. That's just wrong.
But
why would you do that?
That's my thing, and that's my point I was trying to get, because I think, at least to me, the Catholic Church is probably, I don't know about the biggest religion on earth right now, but maybe
it still
top
is.
3.
No, it is. It's the biggest religion on earth.
Over Judaism,
Absolutely.
Judaism.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No, but so think about it. Not even trying to go from all right. It's a wild. Think about it from, if you were the devil. Think about it from this point of view. All right, bet, boom. You got people that love Jesus right now. They're spreading His word. They're spreading this. They're spreading love. You let it grow, then you start attacking it from within. That's the art of war. That's Sun Tzu.
Yes.
Right there. So you let it grow. You pillage. Crusades start going around. You terrorize people. You're spreading mass chaos and stuff just to control this shit. And then after a while, it becomes the biggest fucking thing. Then what do? You just start you start destroying it from within, little by little, and then we get here.
We'll be back after a quick break.
Hello, nerds. Come listen to the History Nerds United podcast, and let's make history fun again. We interview today's best authors, whether they are established Pulitzer Prize winners or someone debuting their first book. Let us show you that history is not a boring class you took in high school, but a place where the best stories come from. And we don't just cover history, we also love to chat about true crime, biographies, memoirs, and so much more. So head on over to History Nerds United and let us introduce you to your new favorite book and learn the story behind the story.
History Nerds United.
But the thing is, you have to sit there and ask. All right, Dad, you're just going to play a video.
Yeah, I'm just trying to lower it, relax.
My whole thing is you're going to sit there and actually... The problem I have with this whole topic is that why do it within the Catholic Church? Why, if you're trying to bring it down, you're trying to bring the Catholic Church down.
I'll tell you why.
But Sun Tzu, bro, it's the art of war.
But it's not even that.
I'll tell you why.
Hold on.
It's so much easier to destroy something from within. Think about how all
you're
revolutions.
absolutely right.
Think about every single revolution that has happened on human history. It is so much easier to destroy whatever it is that you believe in from within and rebuild it as a whole. Because if you were a foreign country attacking whatever it is, let's say Crusades point of view, if you got Judaism, they just start fighting back against the Christians right now. Well, it's so much tough to push your religion because right now you're spreading violence. So you got to destroy it from within. It's the easiest way.
But I think you said it even before that. Like, yes, the Trojan horse destroyed from within, absolutely. But I think you hit the even bigger nail on the head. Well, you know, it's that done this way because of the belief. Because in order to be Catholic, you have to believe in the devil. You have to believe in the idea of Satan, and then when you
which comes from the Hebrew word shatan.
Yes,
by the way, so that's how you get that.
Yeah,
which also means the adversity, which we need the adversity.
Yes,
fuck.
But think of it this way, right? You have to believe in this in some satanic force or the idea of Satan. To be a Catholic, because that's where all the bad is.
Temptation is
and you don't want to go there, so you want to go to heaven, right? There's a balance here. So if you don't believe in that, then that thing then has no power. If you don't believe in it, that thing can't hurt you. So in this instance, why go through the Catholic Church? Why start, the apple seed there and let it grow from there? Is because that's where the belief is from. That's the ultimate evil. And if you have almost 5 billion followers believing in that ultimate evil, and you want to spread that ultimate evil, you don't attack the Catholic Church. You go to the heart of the Catholic Church because that's where the evil is, and you let it grow from there.
Let it attack itself.
Exactly.
Well, then the problem I have, if that's the case, then everyone that I believe in and everything that you see in the Catholic Church is a fucking lie. Then
it's not that it's a lie. It's not that it's a lie.
But if you think about it, think about this logically.
It is hypocritical. It's
very
right.
But think about this logically, though. If it's not everyone within the Vatican, let's just put the Vatican on notice right now.
Sure.
If it's not everyone in the Vatican, then it's people who are allowing it to happen.
This is I'm going to read.
You want to know why they're allowing it to happen?
Mm-hmm.
At least this is how I think about it. If you start talking about it, you're gonna start, and then you have someone killed. You're gonna have another person talk about, hey, yo, why did this person just die? Because they were asking questions, and you're gonna start. I don't
know about killed. Like, I'm not saying this is fucking. I'm not gonna say the Pope is gonna see like.
No, I think what Eric is trying to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, Eric. I believe that you don't want to
acknowledge that there is.
You don't want to
happening.
give it any light because people are going to go. You might say, you know what? There was if I walk up to any churchgoer and I say, there's satanic rituals going on in the Vatican, and it was at the same time was going on in South Carolina, they're going to look at you like
you're freaking crazy.
You're crazy.
And yeah.
And the best, when you talk to any exorcist, the only thing he's going to tell you, the only thing they all agree on, is the devil works his ass off to make you believe he doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't believe what he's doing, he's going to do it. Now, Father Malachi Martin also, this is another thing he did, and this goes off the topic a little bit, but in the same token, it's right there. He said, when people are possessed by the devil, you get the imagery of like spitting blood and all this other shit. And yes, it does happen, but it's very, very rare. But what's going on? You all right? Okay. What it is basically he would I lost my train of thought. Oh my God. Wow. Anyway, yeah, I know.
What happens when someone gets really possessed? And that's what you said,
right,
all exorcists.
Right. When they get really possessed, that's one thing. But there's also a thing what he used to call perfectly possessed. And the reason what that means is basically they are influenced by a satanic force at some point that's inside of them. Okay. But it's not always manifesting itself in the same situation it would be like if they were being exorcised.
It's not so much they're controlling the demons controlling the body. It's I'm listening to the demon and I'm following the demon's orders.
Right, and they don't even know it.
Right.
Okay, and two that come to mind, he actually believes, And this is his words, not mine. He believes that Bill and Hillary Clinton are perfectly possessed.
Allegedly.
Okay. Well, he didn't say allegedly, so I'm not going to go with allegedly.
Maybe that's why he's no longer.
This is what he said, and you can go back and listen to the Art Bell interview. It's exactly what he said.
That's why he doesn't have any air in his lungs.
Okay, so
allegedly,
and he's trying to show you that they're doing not so much God's work, but they're not doing anything to help God. You know what I mean? They're doing what they perceive to be right, but it's really not.
Well,
okay. Does that make any sense? Anybody here? I mean,
yeah, I hear you. Well, I was going to clarify one thing you mentioned. Like, we keep bringing up the Black Mass that happened in 1963 in the Vatican, and then one concurring the enthronement of Satan Black Mass in South Carolina.
Correct.
So that date was actually, this is from Malachi Martin, but apparently that date was January 29th, 1963, which was 1 week after the Pope was sworn in.
Okay.
Right? And it says, he's got on record.
This would be Pope Paul VI.
Right.
Okay.
So Father Malachi Martin is on record saying that this was a Black Mass, or the traditional Latin Mass set in reverse, complete with an animal sacrifice and a drugged young girl who may or may not have been a victim of ceremonial sexual rituals. The ceremony was not the new mass, like the New Order Mass, which is what they changed in the 60s, because Malachi said that even the Satanists know that this mass isn't valid. The Black Mass was attended by high-ranking officials in the church, important laymen, business leaders, and politicians. At least one cardinal was in attendance.
All right.
So that adds in a whole new element. Like, who are the people who are not, like, supposed to be there?
Well,
the businessmen and shit.
Let's try to figure that out after we come back from break.
Okay. How you doing? You like movies? We like movies. You like music? So do we. What about TV and video games? Are you interested in those? Well, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. A brand new podcast is coming soon. We are Multimedia Mafia. We like to discuss, critique, and argue over the media that we love. Series premieres on May 5th with a new episode dropping every Wednesday. Tune in, or a couple of guys from Jersey is going to pay you a visit.
All right. So before we went on break, we were talking about, obviously, the Black Mass in 63.
Yes.
Oh, the year that Kennedy died. And the people who were there.
Hold on, I got a salute for that one.
He's saluting people. So
Rest in peace.
It's the Black Mass in 1963. That's really fucked up. They did that. You said they did that the week after Pope John VI was inaugurated. I guess it's called.
Well, no, when he was sworn in as Pope. Yeah,
but so
after the election of John Paul VI, Pope Paul VI.
Pope Paul VI, not John
right.
Paul.
Now apparently Pope Paul VI was not aware that this ceremony even took place, because Martin would write a note to John Paul II to tell him of that ceremony, but Paul VI was the one who said the smoke of Satan has entered the sanctuary.
Right. And there's also another little tidbit that I just brought to my attention. The Black Mass took place at Pauline Chapel on the night of June 29, 1963, during the anti-Christian Second Vatican Council. In a ritual enthronement of Satan, according to witnesses, a not yet 40-year-old Prussian delegate, who many believe was, wait for it, Joseph Ratzinger. Okay.
Why do I know that name?
Pope Benedict
I do know that
XVI
name. Hold on. Holy shit.
handed the tiara over to Satan, and those present swore to be faithful to Satan and build a universal church. Again, that's just
allegedly.
We don't know.
Pope Nazi himself.
Pope Nazi the First.
Pope Nazi the First handed Satan his tiara.
That's what they're saying here.
So that's homosexuals, Satans, and Nazis all in one idea. That's a blenderfuck.
Yeah, well,
yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what the fuck to say about that one.
That's crazy shit. Because not even I like fucked up shit. And even I couldn't write something that fucked up.
I am Speckledorfed right now.
I know we're gonna break that down in Eric's dictionary. Speckledorf.
Hey, SpongeBob said it.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know. This you could go on days talking about this subject, and you could bring up all types of shit that people have speculatedly see. That's not a word.
I mean,
Speculated
to see.
It's just crazy because, but you know, it's all crazy. It's like we want, like, think of the logic here. We're going to bring up all the these important politicians, these important lawmakers, these important activists, whatever, and these high-ranking church officials. We're going to have satanic coming home party in the Catholic Church, and this is how we're going to slowly poison the well. And how are we going to keep that up over the next 50 years? We attack the children. And now all of a sudden, all these children are being preyed upon, and they are no longer members of the Catholic faith. They are no longer teaching their children the Catholic faith. And the Catholic faith would slowly die.
But why? My whole question about this is why do it to the why not do it to any other religion?
Because the Catholic Church basically is the biggest group of exorcists on the planet. Okay, if you realize what the Catholic Church does on a daily basis that you're not told about, every diocese has to have at least one exorcist. Okay,
at least
these exorcists are
Hold on, we have an exorcist now?
Yeah, you do. Okay, I don't know his name. He's not going to be public to you because don't forget, the Catholic Church wants to avoid any kind of friggin' bad publicity. Yeah, which they to get an
remember
exorcism.
That one guy that waved at you that time and you didn't know who was that guy.
To get an exorcism,
you know.
They don't just say call him and say, Father, I think little Billy's possessed by the devil. Send over a priest. Doesn't work that way.
And if you don't get your bill, you don't pay your bill, you get repossessed.
Okay, what happens is you have to go through a stringent, a process, a vetting process. You have to be checked out by medical doctors. You have to be checked out by psychological doctors. Okay, you have to know certain things that you wouldn't have known. Speaking in tongues that you would have known. Okay, speaking Latin that you wouldn't have known. All right, foreseeing things that you would not have been able to know.
Well, I know that.
Going on. This is why they keep it they keep it quiet because they don't want this to get out there. They want to be absolutely sure that what they're doing is the correct way to do it. They want to make sure that when they send over an exorcist, this is the way it's going to be.
It's very confusing then, because if you're going to have the Catholic Church sending out exorcists to exorcise demons out of people, but yet they are having satanic rituals within the Vatican itself.
Okay.
You're contradicting yourself.
But you're also looking at it from the idea that one hand is knowing what the other hand is doing. And that's not the case.
But if you're the devil, right, and you're or Satan, whoever the fuck, this big powerful demon, whatever the fuck you believe in.
Yes.
If he wants to infiltrate the Catholic Church and he wants to bring down the Catholic Church from his knees, why have the most powerful people within that Catholic Church?
They're the black ops.
But what I'm saying is why have these people learn how to
do all this stuff
just to fight his own people?
If you don't have an enemy to fight, then you ascend to the top of the ladder. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. If you're going to take over a country, there's nobody else in that country that's going to bother you. You're going to go right to the top of the ladder. You're going to be okay. That's what's going on here. See, again, we're going to flash back a couple billion years. Okay, Satan. Okay, Lucifer, the archangel Lucifer, at one time was in heaven.
Yeah.
Okay. He thought he said to God, "I am like you. We're equal." God said, "We're not." Okay, I will not serve you. He said that to God. God said, "You will, because I'm God and you're Lucifer." There's a difference. So he was cast out of heaven, and he spent his eternity in hell. And then, what better way to get even with God's creations than to destroy them? And now, if you want to destroy your ultimate enemy, and you can take him out from within and destroy that, so now basically he'll never be as strong as God. We know that. But for him to take down the Catholic Church and to fight all these exorcists, so there will be in the future there will be no exorcists anymore.
It's like he's spitting in his face again.
Exactly.
But that's what I'm saying, though.
But you can't.
It doesn't make
your enemy.
it doesn't make any sense if you're trying to sit there.
Understand this, my brother.
I know.
Well, what doesn't make sense to you is what I don't understand.
So if you're Satan and you're infiltrating, you're infiltrating the Catholic Church with all these black ops members of the Catholic Church,
Right.
high-ranking officials from the Pope all to his bishops and his rabbins
His
and
bitches?
all that. Bishops,
His bitches.
rabbins, jackals, whatever the fuck you want to call them. You have them under your control, not for the public to know. You know that you are there. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Why teach those people? Not teach, but why let these people teach how to defeat your minions within other people? You know what I mean?
I got an
No, I
answer
don't
for
know
you.
what you mean.
I got an no. I understand where he's going with this, right? He's like, if there's, if I'm waging a war on the Catholic Church and I can strike at the heart, right?
Right.
And I'm sending out minions to possess people, the church is stopping that. Why should I let these guys stop that? That's what I want.
You know what?
Here's
You
why.
answered your own
But that's
question.
exactly right. It's a false flag. You let them go and be exorcists. You let them take down your minions. That way, it shows the people that the church is still doing their job.
It just show it, bro. That's
When in reality,
that's the art of war, right there.
Exactly.
Bro.
When in reality, it's a big ruse. Because let's face facts. If you believe in a force like something that's completely supernatural and spiritual, like a demon or an angel, and you truly believe that they have the capability of doing things to you that is not natural, right? And possess you and do all that shit. I really don't think that there's any sort of force or belief that could push that demon out of you from a human standpoint, other than your faith in God. But if that person is unable to show that faith or produce that faith or whatever, that demon is going to be there for a long ass time, which references back what you said about the little girl and about the exorcism being complete bullshit.
Patience, my friend.
Exactly.
Patience.
And when you're talking about billions of years, what's a couple extra eons?
And the knowledge of eternity. He has the knowledge of eternity. He knows what's, what this is, what that is, whatever. And he can be very patient taking down the Catholic Church because, we don't have people growing up to be Catholics anymore. So who's going to be the priests? No priests, no exorcists.
It's a fight for the soul.
No exorcists. Demons are going to be allowed to run wild. That's the game plan. And it's going to go back and see, it's all about the game plan. Charles Manson, you mentioned Charlie before. Okay, what he wanted to do was he wanted to plant the wallet to have a black guy find it, and then he wanted the white people to blame the black guy. Okay, and it was created a race war.
Yeah.
And then the black people would beat the white guy. The black people would kill the white people in time, and the black people would reign. But in his mind, the black people weren't smart enough to reign, so they'd have to go to him.
Right.
And he'd be the one. It comes down to it's basic knowledge.
It's false flag.
It's right there. If anybody, look, I don't know who's going to be listening to this.
So this all ties in back to like whole New World Order type shit then.
Exactly.
There's a lot of
There's a lot of
similarities.
that, yeah. But when you also look at
most of them are Satanists.
Yes. But when you step out of the realm of Catholic faith, or being any religion, I said this on the Secrets of the Vatican one. When you walk away from that belief completely, that thing theoretically should hold no power over you any longer because you don't believe in it. Right. And I'm also looking at it from a scientific point of view in this sense. This war has been waged for millions of years between God and Satan. We have no proof of that, but we believe in it because of our faith. And allegedly, or supposedly, it's going to keep doing that because it's a slow burn. It's a slow cancer, this darkness in the Catholic Church. But whether you like it or not, in 4.5 million years or billion years, I forget which one, the sun's going to explode and eviscerate all life on Earth anyway. So unless humans can get out of the Earth and colonize deep space to keep that war going, God or Satan is going to take. Someone's going to win or take all eventually, and the doomsday is coming. It's just we're not going to be around for it, but it's one of those things where it's like we don't have to pray on that. We don't have to have faith in that. It's coming. Scientific fact is that eventually the sun will do that.
And what better way of doing that?
I'm gonna say it like this: God created the sun. The sun go out. That's God's doing, bro. God won.
Okay.
Well, again, you know,
Yo, I'm not wrong, bro. I'm not wrong.
If you believe your teachings of the Catholic Church, God gave Satan the authority or the power over anything that crawls on the earth, or anything that's, you know, land that's based on this earth.
Yeah.
And that's why he gave us free will. We can, you know, we can
Choose
reject God,
Satan,
and we can go towards, you know,
Hold
Satan.
on. Can you just backtrack what you say? You said God gave Satan rule over anything on this earth?
On this planet.
That don't seem right to me.
Well, in the Bible, no, didn't give him rule. What he said was you can go there and you can do what you want to do.
Right.
Okay, but I give them free will. If they want to follow you, that's fine.
Oh, right. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
He said, in other words, you can't touch anything in heaven. You know, he did his best. You know, you can't touch this when it came to heaven. Right, you're not going to do that. So that's basically, you know, God, look, I can't sit here and tell you I know everything about what's going on in the Catholic Church, or I know what God's plan is, because, you know,
no one knows.
I got my own questions. However, I do believe that God's got this. God, Jesus, the Blessed Virgin Mary, you know, the Archangel, Michael the Archangel.
My favorite story.
Hold on a second. If you want to talk about one badass, he's the Jason Morgan of heaven.
Jason Morgan? Who's Jason Morgan?
Jason Morgan would be
from
General
Hospital.
Right. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, my thing is, if you believe in all of this and you believe what's happening, it's like, obviously we don't do the research. We don't hear about it in any other religion. Like, I don't hear about. I don't know what is the Satan of Judaism. I guess would be the same thing.
Jews don't believe in Satan, or they don't believe in hell.
Exorcists. They do have exorcists. Not the same. They're not going to ritual. They're not going to call on Jesus. But they have their own exorcism.
But like I said, it's the same. Like you don't hear any of that in the Muslim faith.
Yeah,
either.
there is. You got to do your research.
What I'm saying is, you don't hear about any of this shit happening.
It's because again, it goes down to that the Catholic or the Christian
is the
faith
biggest.
is the biggest and most powerful religion
right.
out here. So it's gonna dominate. Like Judaism and Islam is a minority. Buddha, they're all minorities compared to this. So it's
how many exorcism movies have you seen about Buddhists?
Well, I know that.
How many Jews? No, it's always coming at it from Jesus versus the devil.
I've seen
the divot, the Dybbuk box was the Jewish.
Jewish.
Usually, you used to find Jewish exorcists at a Black Friday sale when the prices aren't low enough.
I hate you so fucking much.
There goes the Israel part of our show.
I hate you so fucking much.
What I don't know.
I could be saving more with this coupon.
Shut up. Cut his mic.
Where are you?
Cut his mic.
No, like it's just very different. Like for me, this just hits home. Like I was talking about on the abuse allegations episode, and probably on the Secrets of the Vatican episode. This shit's just like, it's mind-boggling to think that something that you've grown up in could be so tainted. Because you're actually doing your homework. You're actually thinking. You're not just blindly following. And again, 90% of the priests that are at the parishes aren't these people. They're not the high-ranking officials of the church that are doing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's the issue. You have their superiors that are doing. Now, I'm not saying that they don't, but the chances are they're not flying to Rome to engage in the black masses. Now, another thing we really got to look at, and anybody that's listening, I encourage you to look and find out that enthronement ceremony in 1963. Find out who was there. If you don't believe
I can't find anything. I was looking on it.
Right, they're not going to. Find. There's got to be something out there. There has to be because
look for someone has a T-shirt out there that they picked it up at the concession stand on the way out.
I was there.
I was there in 1963.
I brought Satan to power, and all I got was a stupid fucking shirt.
I was there. You see the other guy? I did it too, pointing at him. Fuck.
Nah,
check old Fords, their bumper stickers.
Well,
oh man.
So as I said at the beginning of this episode, this is our season finale episode for season 2. Mm-hmm. And I think I just want to take a real quick minute and look back and how season 2 went off for us. And our biggest topics throughout this season, our most downloads have been religious based.
Right.
And
it's a lot of people, not a big
trigger.
It's just a lot of people out here have questions too, especially for what they believe in.
Oh, I know. It's especially when it like it's like I originally wanted this episode to be about Scientology, but it's very hard because it's Scientology is a real thing. Like there's shit with
Yes, thank you, Tony. Thank you.
There's a lot of shit behind Scientology, and it's very
Tom Cruise.
It's very hard to dig deep into and sit there like trying to find out what's so mysterious about Scientology.
I respect all religions except Scientology.
That nigga had a social
well, again, that's a little off our topic at this point,
well,
folks.
no, okay.
It's also at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
we're
winding down our episode. And what I want to do is, obviously, this is going to be, at the end of April. So we are at the end of April with this episode. And our next episode is going to be our season 3 kickoff, and that's going to be what's going to kick off the topics for our new season.
Right.
So our new season is going to be about monsters.
Yeah.
Trying to find
cryptids,
monsters.
I want a guest spot on a couple of those episodes.
And we're going to talk. We have some major episodes for the new season about what we are going to talk about, and hopefully this episode will air right before we kick off our website.
Mm-hmm.
And right before we kick off our new show is going to be
the multimedia
mafia dropping May 5th, Cinco de Mayo.
May 5th.
Yep, Green Arrow podcast has gone to bed, and it will be waking up as Multimedia Mafia.
And the same thing with our Babes in the Booth. That's going to be Amanda and Teresa. That should be dropping same week.
Yep. Yeah, I think everything will be done. Our Instagram and Facebook page is already up. So but let's get back to this for one more second before we sign off. I want to go around the panel.
Well, I was going to get to that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and so to like Dad said, before we sign off, we go. So we'll go. Dad, do you believe there is satanic, ritual, satanic activity within the Catholic Church?
No doubt in my mind. Yes, I do.
All right, Eric. Mr. West.
I know that Block is not here tonight. I'm going to answer for him.
He's on the fence.
And that he's probably going to be on the fence about it.
Well, he's probably
going to on the fence, but kind of off it, leaning towards us.
You know what it is though? But Block, I forgot to tell everybody, Block is not here with us tonight. That's why we have Anthony in the booth with us.
Mm-hmm. Roblox, if you're listening, my girlfriend said you look like a Roblox.
Yeah, so he is our resident atheist. So talking about religion with him, he gives us the atheist point of view.
Sure.
So he's going to be on the fence with everything because, he doesn't believe in Satan and he doesn't believe in...
I would imagine he probably would say that the shit that's happening is happening, but it's all for nothing because none of it... What's it being done for is bullshit anyway. I think that's what he would say. People are out there in the woods shooting guns, but they're not aiming anything. And it doesn't ultimately matter.
Interesting take.
That's a very Block answer.
Yeah, that's
roadblock answer.
Yeah,
my answer is I'm like Pops on this one, man. No doubt in my mind. This is going on.
It's funny to me. I've known you almost 12, 13 years now. You're not a very religious person to me. Mm-mm. I've never seen you. Oh, I'm going to church or anything like that. But when it comes to stuff as far as talking about hell, Satan, ghost, you don't fuck with any of it.
No.
You are one of the okay, I'm not gonna go to church.
Listen,
but I'm gonna take my cross out and go. Fuck
listen, man, it's better. Listen, man, it's better to know what you're dealing with in situations that make no absolute sense. So that if you are open minded enough and believe in something like this, at least you're
prepared.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, I don't necessarily believe anything's coming to possess my ass. I have a faith in what I believe in. With that being said, though, I'm very lax when it comes to my religion, but I still know how to make holy water. Like, I got that in my fucking
damn
arsenal.
question.
So I'm saying I believe in it. Yes, I do believe that this is happening. This is real, absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not scared for my own. Like, nothing's coming after my fat ass. But the event that something does, I got rosary beads that were dipped in the River Jordan, and I know how to make holy water, and I got plenty of salt. Fuck with me.
Well, I do believe that because there's just too many. There's just too much shit between what we talked about with all the secrets, the
sex scandals,
the Fatima stuff. There's too many things to point in that direction that there is the smoke of Satan has entered the Vatican. Like there's too many things to point in that direction.
There's been paintings since the Middle Ages. Right. Like, it goes deep, man. This is really freaking deep.
All right, Daddy, you have one last thing to say?
Yeah, I just want to say that, since this episode, basically, when we started with Father Malachi Martin, I just want everybody to really do, if you get a chance, read some of his books. He's got about 22 books out there. He's got a lot of articles that were written. Read about his life. He has his detractors. He does. There's a lot of people that think he was a phony or whatever. I happen not to be one of them, and I'm going to clearly come at it from that point of view. To me, I think he was an extremely pious person, and he did a lot of work. I mean, you don't become a Vatican insider and not know what you're talking about. And the stuff that he wrote, the Keys of This Blood, the Jesuit Society of Jesus, and the Betrayal of the Roman Catholic Church. These are things that you really need to read, because if you enjoyed our topic tonight, you're going to get a firsthand look into what really is going on. Yes.
Or you guys can subscribe to our Patreon, and I can read them for you.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
The sexy ass voice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
that's a thing.
Yes, that's a thing.
You're coming up to my bedroom tonight and read me to sleep.
If you pay me.
I think that also goes in terms of
capitalist first and foremost.
I think that goes in also with Father Amorth. His stuff too. He was the head chief exorcist. The big poobah of
the big cheese
of exorcists, and I think those two, if you add them both together and their power and what their knowledge of the Vatican was, and they're both basically saying the same thing. That, again, we'll repeat this for like the 50th time on this podcast, that the smoke of Satan has entered the Vatican. It's hard not to believe that.
Yeah.
With all the knowledge that they say.
And I smoke a lot of weed, but I ain't seen no smoke of Satan.
I don't smoke nearly enough.
Where do you go, like, after you've been promoted to be like, you're the head exorcist of the Catholic Church? Is there any more room to go up, like the corporate ladder? Like, where do you go from there? You know what I mean?
Anyway, Joe, take us out.
So again, thank you everybody for listening.
I love you.
I'm definitely excited to start season 3 next week, and we'll definitely hit it harder. All right, so good night, everybody.
Oyatsume.
Good night, Bob.
Night.
Konnichiwa, bitches. It's Ryu West speaking. If you want to find out more about the Is This Real podcast, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/isthisrealpc, or on Twitter at isthisrealpc, or on Instagram at isthisrealpodcast, all one word.